It's so official. Okay. Can I get some chlorophyll, please? Hey, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. We're going to give people a chance to get settled and get in. While you are waiting, make sure you've got your red lipstick. Yeah, even though I don't deal with the A word, I like the way I'm moving into Zen. I can sleep because when I go live, y'all be having me so jazzed up that it takes me like 3 hours to go to sleep, and I'm not going to sleep until 1 o'clock. So I got my ashwagandha that's mixed with all the good stuff to make sure it's nice and mellow. Hey, welcome, 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 beautiful divas. This is Shay, your girl, your love diva, Master Certified Love Strategist, voted top 5 love coach in the entire world. I'm here to help you to be able to use the power of science so that you can figure out what is stopping you, what is keeping you from the love that you want, so that you can be able to attract your high value, masculine, marriage minded man who will absolutely love your soul. So just come on in. If you are brand new here, know that I welcome you. You are in for a world of treat because I have a lot of things that you have never ever heard before. You've never even learned before, because even though I am a Master Certified Love Strategist, I am also a scientist. I graduated pre-med biology from Florida State University, and I did the only dating experiment done where I went on 100 dates in a little over 3 months, and we'll get into that, and we'll get into what it is that I discovered that completely changed the game of love, dating, and relationships, and it has went on to transform the lives of tens of thousands of women, and it's going to be able to help you as well. So make sure you stick in there. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and get your red lipstick, okay? Because that activates that feminine energy. So go ahead and get your red lipstick. If you're brand new here, please leave your name, where you're from, and a heart emoji. Once again, if you are brand new, like you have never ever heard me live before, leave your name, where you're from, and a heart emoji so that I know that you are brand new and you are ready to receive the love that is waiting for you. If you are returning back and you are already part of the Divahood, you are not brand new, then go ahead and drop your name with a lipstick emoji. But once again, okay, for all of my new people, okay, if you have never ever seen me live, you have never seen my madness. If you have never seen my Sagittarius truth-telling spirit, then that means you are a virgin to my live. And make sure, if so, you drop your name, where you're from, and a heart emoji so that I can love upon you, so that I can welcome you, and I know what it is that you don't know, so that I can be able to share that information with you. Welcome, Heather from Kansas. I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mary, welcome, baby. AJ from Nashville, welcome. Lindsay, welcome back. Adonia from California, welcome, welcome, welcome. Linda from Kansas. Okay, welcome. Jaleesa from San Diego, welcome. Nori, 42 Young. All right, baby. Welcome. Welcome from Chi-Town. Celeste from NYC, welcome. Break that down for me, baby, phonetically. Help me to be great, okay? Charge it to my head, not my heart. Okay? Charge it. Love you, but break it down so we both look smart. Sasa, welcome, baby. Love the name. Meg from like Meg the Stallion, Meg. Hey, from Charlotte, welcome. Listen, y'all. Look, I'm a scientist. Okay. When it comes to being able to reading is not fundamental with me when it comes to names. So forgive me. I'm gonna do my best. Zakitha, charge my head, not my heart, but welcome. I'm glad you're here from Chicago. I see we have South Africa here. What is your name, South Africa? Whitney from Iowa, welcome. Carly from Dallas. That's what we call my love bug. We call him Carly. You're from Toronto. Okay, welcome. Michelle from Virginia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's go ahead and get started, ladies. If you haven't, make sure that you have your notepad, because I'm going to be giving you valuable information. I'm giving you information that people pay for, and I'm going to be giving it to you absolutely free. So make sure that you take notes, because I don't repeat my lives. And please do not record the lives. Okay, let's honor the energetic spiritual alignment here, and don't record the lives, but make sure that you take notes so that you're learning from a deeper place, not just from your head. Sherilyn from Trinidad and Tobago. Hey, Trinidad and Tobago in the house. Hey. So for those of you who are brand new and you're just joining live, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Shay, your Love Diva. I am a Master Certified Love Strategist, which is the highest designation in love coaching. I am one of the pioneers of love coaching. When I started in the industry 2 decades ago, love coaching didn't even exist. And the reason why I am here is because I find that so many women that I work with, like, they have their goals, they have accomplished all the things in life, but when it comes to love, they can't seem to get the love component straight. And it seems like even though when it comes to success, that comes to them without a problem, but when it comes to love, that is still a struggle for them. So they don't understand that it's not about your beauty. It's not about your looks. It's not about your value. It's not about your size. It's not about if you've been married and divorced or if you have children. Like, men don't care about all of those things. They don't care about the things that women think that they care about. And so many women don't understand that unknowingly they are making certain key mistakes when it comes to dating that is costing them time. It is costing them energy, money, and it's costing them frustration. So what I've done is that I've studied the science of what does it take in order for you to be able to attract high value love that is effed up, unfaithful, and wants forever to love your soul. And how can you make it predictable so that you're not playing Russian roulette trying to figure this thing out? So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is, what are you experiencing when it comes to your love life? Just go ahead and drop in the chat, like, what's the most painful, frustrating challenge that you have been dealing with when it comes to love? Just put it in the chat so I know where you're at. Okay? What are you dealing with? Who just got ghosted this weekend? Distance, hot and cold behavior. There's a reason for that. We'll talk about that. Avoidant men, anxious attachment. Okay. Non-existent. What does that mean? They romanticize thin women. Oh, Robin from Cali, welcome. Bonita from Wisconsin, welcome, baby. Hello from East Philadelphia, welcome. Rose from Virginia, hey. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Lisa. Getting enough quality options. You put clerk on there? Get enough quality options. Unfaithfulness, hot-tempered, inconsistency. Same man, different face, gaslighting, overgiving without receiving. Oh, long distance. I become too dependent and abandon myself. You know what? Faith, can you please get this lady a free copy of my book? Isabel, email my staff at support@shaybetter.com. Once again, I'm going to repeat it. It's Isabel, okay? So, Faith, make sure you write this down. Get Isabel a free copy, e-copy of my book, The Science of Attracting Love, because you know what? I'm seeing a lot, and I feel you, okay? All of you are reading what each other are experiencing with struggle. However, the only person that I've seen that talked about, like, her responsibility is that she said, I become too dependent and I abandon myself. And I can't tell you how major that is, how much that brings you closer to the love that is waiting for you. You know why? Because now you put the power back in your hands. It's not that men are doing this to you. You're recognizing your role in it, which means that you are giving yourself the power to fix it. And what I find is that a lot of times women don't understand. They don't know their own true power. They don't understand their role in attracting these experiences and how they can use that same power in order to attract better quality men. So let's establish a few things first, okay? Ladies, first thing that I've discovered when I did my dating experiment. So let me break down to you what I did with the dating experiment. I went on 100 dates in a little over 3 months because I hated men. And I'm so serious. I thought all men were liars. I thought they were cheaters. I thought that I really couldn't trust men. However, I was a single woman with a blessing in the form of a child. I was also doing pretty well in life. I felt like something was missing. So I wanted love, but I was afraid of love, and I didn't really trust love. And you know, that dichotomy that's going back and forth. Like, I want love, but I don't trust it, and I don't want to deal with getting hurt, and I don't want to deal with the games, and I don't want to deal with the drama. So I was doing all of that. Now, I found myself in a situation before I got myself established. I found myself in a situation where I was homeless as a single woman with a blessed and informed child, and I felt like I let my daughter down. So I made a promise to her that mommy was going to figure this love thing out. And I was going to show her what real love looks like, that I was going to break the patterns in my family, because my mother, her mother, all attracted toxic, dysfunctional relationships, literally on both sides of my family. And I promised her a big backyard, because literally I had nothing. And the way I was able to keep my promise to my daughter is, as a scientist who graduated pre-med biology, I did a dating experiment where I went on the 100 dates. I interviewed over 4,000 men, women, and couples, and I read hundreds of books in love, dating, and relationships. And I studied the anthropology, the psychology, and the science of attraction and male psychology and attraction. And what does it take in order to trigger a man to want me, no matter who it is, that I could get anybody I wanted to fall for me. So I studied that, right? And I went on these 100 dates, and as I was going on these 100 dates, I would try different things. And after you go on 100 dates, then something like unlocks. I wouldn't recommend it, okay? 10 out of 10. It was trash going on all the 100 dates. But it was super powerful to be able to discover the information that I discovered. First thing I discovered, men are super simple, okay? They mean what they say, and they really do say and show what it is that they mean. That's the first thing. The second thing is that when you understand what are the buttons to trigger in the man, when you understand what is the natural pattern that will trigger a man to fall for you, it gets so easy. And when I tell you what was the most surprising thing that I learned in my dating experiment is that when you know what you're doing, it's so much easier with the high value, because that's the word that everybody's using. It's so much easier with the successful high value men. And when I say high value isn't just a man who has money. Okay, ladies, are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Because if he only has money, he's broke in every way that matters. Okay? If you hear me, because whenever, what I do whenever I do like a training, or whenever I'm working with my students and I'm doing like an exclusive training with them, whenever they have like a aha moment, I tell them to put YMM. That's a yes ma'am moment, so that it can stick into their subconscious mind, and it can work for them later on. So if I say something to you that stands out to you and you have a yes ma'am moment, then just put YMM in the chat, right? So as I was understanding and as I was learning exactly like what are these specific triggers when I went on the date, I started to become extremely powerful. I started to use the knowledge that I was developing for my benefit. And I noticed that no matter what the guy's race was, no matter where he was from, no matter whatever his likes or dislikes were, his height, his size, whatever it was, I noticed that when I used certain triggers, especially when it came to the high value, successful, quality, marriage minded men, that it would trigger them to want to commit to me, to want to protect me, and to want to give me things, to provide. It triggered that provider nature in these men. And when I say provider, men were buying me things. Like one guy bought me a house, and I wasn't married to him, okay? We weren't even in an exclusive relationship. Another man bought me a car. I was getting shopping sprees. I was getting trips. I was getting tickets. I got tickets to the Masters, the Super Bowl Open. Like, it was a thing. It was a thing with my friend group where they were like, girl, like, what did this man give you this time? Because men were always wanting to give me things. And I teach this to my students. And what they find is they attract men who want to give them things as well. So I'm going to teach you what it is that I discovered that can be able to help you. And what I discovered that was mind-blowing is it was the easiest with the high value men. The men that not only have money, the men that had character, but the men who were the type of men that want to get married, the type of men who were emotionally available, and that could love you the way you wanted to be loved. And when you understood, like, what are these triggers, then I'm telling you, it made a world of a difference. You didn't have to wonder where it is that you stood with these men. Now, here's the thing that I've discovered, okay? what I discovered is that a lot of people like the candy advice. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Especially when you're under 30. Like, you're just like, get me the man, Shay, and let's just keep moving. I don't have time for anything else. I don't want to have to learn anything else. And if that's you, then I get it. God bless you. I'm not the one for you. I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay. I'm the one that's going to tell you, like, listen, before you do step B or step C, you have to do step A. Because what I discovered with the thousands and thousands of women that I've worked with is that there is always one component that is always standing in their way whenever they continue to attract dysfunctional, toxic men, or men who can't love them, or men who can't commit to them, or men who don't know how to treat them, or men who don't know how to value them, or men who are like basically emotionally unavailable. Like, there's always one component with these men, and the component is that they fall under one of the 5 love archetypes, which means that they have love blocks. And what the love archetypes are is they're either a ruby. The ruby is that type A, make it happen type of woman. She's the woman who's usually a boss when it comes to her career. She's usually the kind of woman in her friend group that makes the responsible decisions that everybody goes to. She's usually the one in the family, again, that there's a lot of expectations. And she's success driven. She's goal driven. And she's the type of woman that wants to be the best and excel in whatever it is that she does. She doesn't like to lose, period, in life, in anything that she's doing. The only problem is that when it comes to love, because she wants it to be predictable, because she wants to win at it, then she will either sabotage it subconsciously, intentionally, or she will avoid it all the way together and just find herself in consistent situationships and or attracting narcissistic men and or man babies, or both. And then you have the women who are onyx, okay? And oftentimes there are overlaps. Yeah, they are, Sophia. She said, are they suppressing your videos? I used to see you all the time on my FYP. Now I never do. No, they're not going to show valuable content that's going to help improve women's lives. They're not going to do that. They're going to show you hot mess foolishness that's going to make you want to deal with the toxicity. Okay, it's a thing, I promise you. But anyway, with an onyx woman, she's like that empathic woman. And the honest woman is a woman that gives a man the benefit of the doubt. She gives people the benefit of the doubt. She tends to lack boundaries. How many of you see yourself as that onyx woman? You find yourself with friendships, family members, and or relationships where they lack boundaries, and you attract the men who are narcissists. Because, or married, okay? A lot of onyx women tend to end up with married men. Married men love an empathic woman, by the way, okay? They love it. Because if he cries or if he gives you his sob story, then you're going to buy it. Because to you, you're like, oh, like, why would anybody lie to me? Liars love empathic onyx women. Because, again, you know that you would never lie to somebody. You know you would never manipulate somebody because you feel for people. So then you let your guard down and you trust that this person is who they say they are. And then they end up being a wolf in sheep's clothing. And then you have the diamond. The diamond woman. Have you ever had a friend, or do you have a friend who, like, she seems like she's beautiful, she's smart, she seems to have it going on, but she's like always like putting herself down, and she's like super insecure. You know that friend that's always saying, I'm sorry? How many of you know what I'm talking about? The friend that's like, am I too fat? Like, you know, am I good enough? Like, she's constantly criticizing herself. Even though to you, you're like, you seem perfect to me. Like, you have everything going on. I see, she said, I'm her, right? Like, the diamond is that woman that lacks self-esteem. She might even be a boss. This is the crazy thing. People are confused about diamonds because they think a diamond is that weak woman who, like, is just curled up in the corner somewhere or super shy or super timid. No, a diamond could actually be a woman who's that Ruby, who's like take charge at work, but when it comes to a relationship, then she lacks confidence in her relationship. And then men walk all over her. Men don't really honor her boundaries. They put her down. They're constantly criticizing her. Why? Because she's constantly criticizing herself, because she grew up with the parent, oftentimes it's the mother, who was constantly criticizing her. And then we have the citrine and the citrine woman. She grew up in an abusive household where she witnessed abuse or experienced abuse. And so now she tends to attract abusers. And then we have the amethyst, and the amethyst, which is my practice, is 90% amethyst. And that's the woman that has been violated at some point in her life, most often when she was a child. And the statistics are staggering when it comes to the amethyst woman. And a lot of women hold a lot of shame about what has happened to her for the amethyst woman. However, the studies show that over 50% of women who identify as a ruby, that type A, make it happen, successful woman, that high achieving woman, over 50% of these women are also amethysts, believe it or not. And 1 out of every 3 girls have been violated. It is seriously an epidemic. So when you combine, and there's a reason why each one of these women have their particular love blocks, right? Because of the environment, because of what they've experienced, because of what their belief systems are. Because of that, then it affects significantly how they are magnetizing certain type of men. And it affects how they are showing up when it comes to dating. And if they do not identify what is their love archetype, what are their love blocks, then they keep showing up in the dating game in their mind saying, I'm going to do it different this time. And then when they end up attracting the same man with a different face, now they feel like it's something wrong with them. They feel like they're the ones that's broken. But baby girl, you're not the one that's broken. Okay? Your patterns are, and your patterns are subconscious. And if you don't recognize that your patterns are subconscious, which means that they need to be rewired subconsciously, and that you have to be trained to clear that out, and there's a way to do that in less than 3 months instead of you being in 4, 5, 6, 12 years of therapy, then you're going to keep showing up in the dating game over and over and over again, frustrated, disappointment, losing time, energy, and money. So I built my entire practice at being able to help women to be able to clear those love blocks, significantly increase and anchor that feminine energy so that they're magnetic to the masculine love, and then being able to rewire the subconscious mind so that now they are naturally aligned with being able to receive healthy divine love, and then being able to understand how to align with getting and attracting what is it that you want. Because when you understand what the laws are, it's kind of like, I'm a scientist, right? So with gravity, if you throw a ball up in the air, what's going to happen? Just put it in the chat. Okay? Somebody tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. If you throw a ball up in the air, what exactly is going to happen? What's going to happen? Now, for those of you who don't know, before I start really getting into teaching you, I'm also very spiritual. Okay, I believe in honoring spiritual law, and I don't believe in coaching anybody without their agreement. So as I'm teaching you today, then I want to make sure that I have your permission. My clients pay me $20,000 per hour. Clients pay me $300,000 a year in order to be able to work with them, to be able to help them, to be able to align with love, to work with me personally. I have a whole team and other options that are way more affordable and in different people's price point. But however, the women that want to work with me, they're usually like high executive women or public figures, and they are losing a lot of money because of the relationships they're choosing. The love blocks are causing money blocks. So then they're investing in themselves, and they pay me $20,000 an hour. So I'm getting ready to give you this $20,000 an hour advice and coaching. But I first want your permission. So if I have your permission, then please type yes, ma'am, in the chat if I have your permission to give you my $20,000 per hour coaching advice. Okay. Also, when you're putting yes ma'am, what it does is it allows us to become spiritually aligned, and it allows me to be able to speak into your spirit in a way that allows you to start the process of transforming and aligning with your soulmate. And it also allows me to be able to tap and tune into you so that I'm hearing what your own specific challenges are, and then I'm able to speak to it. Like when there's a majority of people who are having that particular challenge. So when you're saying yes ma'am, then you're actually saying yes to yourself. Okay. And if it's a no, then just go ahead and jump off the live, baby. Okay. I'm glad you're here. But just go ahead and jump off, because I'm not trying to be out of spiritual alignment. All right. Now, where was I? Y'all in these emojis, I swear you guys completely throw me off. All right. So then when women are starting this process, okay? And tell me if this sounds like you. When you decided that you wanted to attract love, put in the chat what's the first thing you did. When you're like, you know what, I'm tired of being home on Friday nights. I'm tired of seeing all my friends get married and I don't have anybody. Like, I really want to find somebody. I feel like my soulmate's calling me. Like, what's the first thing that you do? Put it in the chat. Join a dating app. Went online and dating app. Writing affirmations, candlelight, okay. Somebody said go out. All right, that's becoming like a dinosaur at this point. People saying going out, but okay. Start going out more, start dressing up more, getting on the dating apps, get on dating app. Go do something I love doing. So you start doing the thing you love to do when you're ready for love. Is that what I'm understanding? I just want to make sure I'm understanding that right. Is that what you're saying? You increase your feminine energy. You do therapy and counseling. For the therapy and counselor, I'm curious. Like, how is that working? Did you get married? Like, have you been able to attract somebody yet? Just curious. Have you? To get ready, or once we are ready? But you know what? Isabella, are you the same one that I just gave the book to? Because you said that you abandoned yourself. Are you the same one? Because I'm like, you just on it today. Is it your first time you've been on my live? You said first, actually, I prayed to forgive people and sever soul ties. Okay. Oh, okay. And then therapists are too passive. Yes, I already sent the email. Okay. You look pretty. Thank you. So do you. Therapy just helps me reflect, but no solutions. Okay. Okay. We'll put a nail in that. Okay. Honestly, I go out and on the scene where people are, like downtown, out to eat with friends or by myself, looking stunning. All right, now y'all think about this. Remember, I'm coaching you. I'm giving you my $20,000 an hour coaching advice and guidance. It's not about me telling you, because deep down inside, you know the answers. You're not broken. Okay? There's nothing wrong with you. I'm going to help you remember what it is that you already know. Now, as you have put down what it is that you do when you're ready to attract love, now put to me, where are you right now? Like, how has your strategy worked for you? Put it in chat. How has it been working? Somebody said dress to impress. I have to love myself. I'm loving myself. So it mirrors back. Lisa, you're advanced. Okay. you're advanced, don't give it away yet. I'm gonna come back to you. Honestly, I wish I would have taken your advice sooner before I would have wasted so much time on someone. I hear that all the time. It has not. I've crashed and burned 0 out of 0. It's not working. It's not good. Single and keep attracting the same kind of guy. It worked for me. I started my healing journey, but it wasn't sustainable, so then it didn't work, baby. Just lovingly telling you honest truth. It doesn't. I go back to my ex every time. Oop. All right. More men are interested. It doesn't. So let me just tell y'all something, okay? Side note. If you talk to my clients, they'll tell you that my coaching is very unconventional, because I believe that neurons that fire together wire together. So this is how your brain works. Your neurons are literally tied together, and when your neurons are tied together, they are associated with a certain emotion. They're locked in to a certain way of thinking. So without even thinking about it, you're acting and making certain decisions automatically that's leading to a certain outcome. And if you want to help a client, and this is the part that I train therapists. So I work with therapists, mental health professionals, and I train them, and I'm going to be eventually doing a mass training of teaching more mental health, because they want to help. I just believe that they don't have the tools necessary to help at the level that they want to. And so when I'm training them, I teach them that if you're not helping a client to rewire their mind subconsciously, if you're not helping them the neuroplasticity to be able to rewire to work for them, then all of the talking is actually causing more damage. And there's studies to show that. So in order to be able to help them, then you have to get their brain to fire and wire differently. So you have to break the neural connections, and then you have to start to help them to rewire it properly so that it can align to work with them getting the kind of results that it is that they want. So right now, this is how your brain is wired, okay? And when you go out into the dating game with your brain wired for what you've been experiencing, attracting your ex who does what to you, who is mistreating you, who is lying to you, who is cheating on you, who can't show up for you, who's ghosting you, who's emotionally unavailable to you. Like, this is what your subconscious mind is already neurologically wired to experience. So if I want to teach you and get you to be able to break this connection so that it wires to healthy, high-level love with a masculine, high-value man, then there's certain things I have to do to interrupt the pattern. I have to keep interrupting the pattern. And this is what me and my coaches do all day, every day in Diva University, or when you're in Boss Diva University. Or in all of my training, what I'm working in my programs is I'm helping you to be able to break this connection, right? So when you're going through the process, then that allows you to be able to start to rewire it in a better way. So I use different unconventional things. I'll say certain things that will trigger, that you're like, wait, what did she just say? Because then now your brain is no longer able to synapse the same way again, right? And that's what you want. Like when you're working with a mental health professional, when you're working with anybody that you're trying to get to break patterns, you want them to stay on you. Like there's a certain way you hold your body when you're doing this, when you're thinking in a way subconsciously that's not aligning with you. There's a certain way you feel that you're not even noticing because it's automatic. And you, the person you're working with, should be able to help you continue to break that over and over again, and or give you the tools to help you break that over and over again, or you're going to keep attracting the same type of men. So when you're telling me that you're going on the apps and you're swiping right before you get it right, then you are basically signing up to get the same old. Like you're asking to experience the same disappointment that you experienced before. Does that make sense to y'all? Does it upset your clients if you give us advice that is worth a lot of money? No, because they know that they get me consistently, and they know that with everything I'm giving you here, imagine like 1,000% greater that they're getting when they're in Diva University. So my clients are like, I can't even believe it. Like even when I watched you on live, like I had no idea that I was going to get even that much. But that's why they're coming to me. So things, yeah, no, they don't. They're willing to share. So basically, when you go on the apps before you take the proper step, like Lisa said, when I asked, like, what are you going to do when you know you want love? Lisa said, I signed up for Diva University. After I did your love action program, I did the feminine energy course 3 months in, and I'm not on the dating apps. Because she's like, let me get myself aligned right. Let me get my subconscious mind aligned right so that I'm aligned with the healthy love. I'm not playing Russian roulette. I know exactly where I am. So here's the part that when I was dating, that was frustrating because it didn't exist for me. Now, if you can relate to this, then tell me if this relates to you. I didn't like the idea of entering into the dating game not knowing what to expect, right? Like, I don't mind spending money, but I don't like wasting money. And as a business owner, I recognize that there's going to be some things that I'm going to do, and it might not turn out exactly the way I want, but I've done enough research to know that I'll be at least in the ballpark. I'm not just going to throw money at the wall and then hope that it sticks. And when it came to love, I was no different. So I didn't like the idea that when I got on the apps or when I started dating, I didn't know if I was going to end up with another Build-A-Bear. How many of you know exactly what I'm talking about? How many of you know what I'm talking about when I say, like, there's that apprehension of going out in these streets on the app and you really don't know. You can hope that you meet a good guy. You can hope that you can meet a different guy who's going to treat you well this time. But you really have no idea what type of person you're going to meet. Am I lying? How many people can relate to that? Like, this idea of being, what was the biggest frustration to me? Wasting my time. I can't stand wasting my time. I've always couldn't stand wasting my time. So then I meet somebody. He seems like this great, nice guy. He's talking the best game. You know how it is. And he's like all hot for you. And he's making all the efforts, especially in the beginning. Like, he's doing all the right things. Like, he's calling and he's texting. And then he's inviting you out on dates. And then you go on the date. And the first date is amazing. It's like, okay. So then we go out on the second date. And the second date's like, whoa. And then you go on the third date. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is going somewhere. Yay. And then it's like, okay, we're like going on dates. He's getting to know me. He says he likes me. He's like coming. He's fixing things. He's like showing up and doing all the things. And then it's like, okay, we're like moving along. And then he's even starting to show that he wants more than just us being friends. Like, he wants to get physical, but he hasn't mentioned anything about a relationship at all. And it's like, okay, then tell me, ladies, what is it that you normally do? For those of you who end up in this type of situation, when you have been going on dates with a man who seems like he's really interested, and then now it's like 2 months, 2.5 months, and you're like, you have no idea where you stand with him, but he's doing all the boyfriend things without making it official. So put in the chat, what is it that you do? Do you believe there are women who have never done the work but still found a really good man? There's multiple answers to that. Okay. The first thing is, yes, I do. I think that there are many women who don't do the work and they find a really good man. The sad part is that many of these women sabotage their relationships. And I've seen it so many times. Like, I've seen a lot of women who should have done the work first, and she didn't know how to hold space for the relationship and the good man that she asked. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, a lot of times women who didn't do the work, they end up attracting a man. You attract a reflection of you. That's the way it works. That's the way the law works. You're going to magnetize a reflection of yourself. And so then you think he's great in the beginning, and then you attract somebody who's dealing with a reflection of your own love blocks. And then now you have to do that struggle love thing. And now you both is struggling it out, or you are working. You know, when people say, and this is literally over 70% of the population, you know how when people say marriage is work, how many people know what I'm talking about? Hello? Y'all never heard that? You never heard people say marriage is work? 2 months, tell them I don't sleep with men I'm not in a relationship with and build real trust with. Okay? I'm gonna circle back to that, I promise. Is a Build-A-Bear a guy that needs to work on himself but doesn't want to recognize it? Kind of. That's good. It's a man that you have to build, right? Like you gotta build him up, tell him what he needs to do in order to make you happy, like a Build-A-Bear. Uh, you said you had a friend challenge you saying that it's important to be able to struggle. Listen, struggle love is not poetic, period. It's not supposed to be like that. But it's become standard, right? With people thinking that you're supposed to struggle it out. You're supposed to fight for your love. And you hear a lot of times marriage is hard work. Me and my husband have celebrated our 11th year married. 11 years. We just had our anniversary. Like last week, we spent 3 weeks in Thailand. We do it every year where we do our yearly honeymoon in Thailand. And we also went to Bali. And my husband is literally my bestest friend. That is my romantic best friend. I love being around my husband. It feels like having a slumber party every night when I go to bed, knowing that I could lay in his arms and wake up next to my best friend. And there might be times where we disagree. There might be times where we're out of alignment, or he might get on my nerves, or I might get on his nerves. But it has never felt like, oh my God, I have to work at this. I don't feel like that. And really, when you have done the work on you, then you're not working for love. You're aligning with love. You're able to receive love. Really. And it feels good to be able to be around that person. Because when you have those moments of out of alignment or disagreement, then you know how to LIG it like a boss. You know how to let it go, because what you are aligned with is seeing a reflection of your soulmate and your best friend. It's kind of like with your friend. How many of you have your best friend? How many of you have best friends in your world? Say I. Hello? Am I talking to myself? How many of your best friends? How many of you got to work at your friendship with your best friend? Huh? How many of you got to struggle out? How many of you got to struggle it out with your best friend? Huh? Hello? How many of you got to struggle it out? If you're struggling out with your best friend, baby, that's not your best friend. Okay? you done attracted a headache. Your friend's a headache. Your friend's not necessarily a friend. It's not supposed to be a struggle with your best friend. Period. And your husband, your soulmate, should be your best friend. And when you're in alignment, then it's not struggle. But a lot of people don't know how to do love. They don't know how to prepare themselves so that they're setting themselves up for a healthy relationship. So then, let's go back to the question that I asked originally. Okay? What was the question that I asked originally? Hold on one second. It's been 2 months. It's been 2 months. You've been dating this man, and he has not committed to you. But he acts like your boyfriend. Thank you, love. What are you going to do? What are you going to say? What's going to be your next move? This one? Y'all are so interesting. Someone's like, off topic, but which hand is the married hand? This hand? My hand? What are you going to do, ladies? Put it in the chat. What are you going to do? So you're going to say, I need some sort of commitment? Is that... I'm just trying to get clarity. Remember, I'm coaching you. I'm coaching you. You're going to tell this man... So how are you going to say it? I need you to commit to me? You're going to... Wait. What are you going to do? Like... Commit to me or else. Like, you better commit to me or what? Like, how does it look? What are you going to do? Okay? You're going to pull your energy back. You're going to leave. You're going to demand he puts a ring on it after 2 months of dating. Is that, huh? Huh? Establish boundaries. Let him know clearly what your standards are. So let's just, because this is what y'all we doing at home, okay? This is what we doing out here in the streets, y'all. And I want to make sure I'm setting you up for success, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, can we have a talk? Like, what does this look like? You're going to be like, hey, these are my boundaries. Like, I require a relationship. And I don't feel right being here when you're not committed to me. Some men aren't good with ultimatums. No man's good with ultimatums. And it takes your power away. Like, does that feel good to you? Think about it. Ladies, I really want you to think about the last relationship where you had to have the talk. Did it feel good to you to have to be the one to instigate a talk with a man to get him to want to commit to you? And just think about it. How many of you had the talk with the man who didn't initiate committing to you first? You ended up marrying that Build-A-Bear only to regret it later on. Huh? She said, I've never had the talk. Congratulations. But be honest, how many of you have had the talk and it felt like, ew? In the past, okay? Or how many of you knew somebody that had the talk? How many of you knew somebody that had to have the talk because this man was moving along, he was dating you, not committing, acting like your boyfriend, but he hadn't committed? He begged me. I never had to. And that's every man you've ever been with, Supernova. That you're saying that, like, every man you've been with, you've never really fell for a guy where you was wondering where this was going. Never. Is that what you're saying? Thank you for the little baby penis on my head. Okay. Lucky Liz, you had to talk, and you said it was super cringe. Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. If he's not saying or showing me that he's moving forward, then I would step away. Right now, but I'm saying just think about it in the past. Okay. If I asked it, it didn't go anywhere. Okay. Thank you for your honesty. Yes, I have. They lie through and breadcrumb you. Okay. I gave him his space to think about it. Okay. You next level will come back to you. I had to lie and tell him I was going on a date with somebody else to get him to commit. And then how did that work out for you? Just be honest, okay? Listen, this is a no judgment zone. Anything I do here is all because I'm coaching you. Because this is, y'all are wired like this. In your mind, you think your way is right, even though it's not working. Even though the evidence is saying that what I'm doing isn't working, this is the way your brain is wired. To think that this is what I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to do things to keep doing this. Okay? And some of y'all are going to jump off because you can't handle it. And that's okay. Okay? And some of you can, and you're going to get the benefits of it. He committed. It lasted a year. Then I broke up with him for being such a boy. So then you basically tricked yourself into getting with a Build-A-Bear who wasn't worth your time. He was self-selecting himself. He was letting you know that he wasn't really qualified to be with you. Okay? Y'all, that's like asking somebody to sell you their broken car that's a lemon. That's like asking for somebody to sell you some food that's already been chewed on. That hasn't been properly cooked. That's like you asking for secondhand broken whatever it is that you're paying for. I have a friend who demands the talk after 3 weeks. And how does it work out for her? Does high school boyfriend count with the talk? Ma'am. Ma'am. What age are we at this point? We talked about it in the beginning, and he said he wanted a monogamous, committed relationship with me before I was even ready. But the whole thing was strange. He was strange. Lisa Jenkins said, I had the talk, but he brought it up. He gaslighted me the entire time, making it appear that I was trying to push or pressure him into marriage. And I never brought it up. His mama instigated the entire issue, and I never brought it up again. Ladies, what if I told you that I can tell you how to have the power in your hand where men are literally begging you to be with you? And you are now the person that is vetting and screening for the best option for you. The same way you would do about any other important aspect of your life. When you are buying your house, you thoroughly vet the house. You're thoroughly checking to make sure, is this the quality house neighborhood that you want, terms that you want to enter? When you're looking for a car, you are properly vetting to make sure you're purchasing the proper car. Some of y'all, I've seen you like vet when you're buying a Birkin, like you looking all over town for like the best reseller for the proper Birkin. But when it comes to a man, all he has to do is have a coconut smile, and you are ready to jump into a lifelong commitment with this man who you have no idea who he is. You have no idea if you are really ready and able or equipped to know how to discover if he is the kind of man who says that he is, if he is the kind of man who can love you the way you want to be loved. So then you are setting yourself up for disappointment and heartbreak. And this is what the disappointment and heartbreak looks like. So I had a client. She's a doctor, extremely successful. She married a Build-A-Bear. Like, she met him, and I think like 3 months later they was engaged, and then she was married to this man for like 10, 11 years, and he just was a Build-A-Bear while they were married. And this woman, very successful. So she had bought and paid for her house before they got married. Her house was like worth like $1.5 million, something like that. And then she also owned her own business, and her business was worth millions. In order for her to be able to save her business, she basically had to give this man the house in the divorce, even though he was the one that cheated, even though he was the one that was abusive, even though he was the one that was narcissistic. She had to give her house. And if that wasn't bad enough, she had to pay him $1 million. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Then I had another client who jumped into a marriage. And yes, ma'am, you should always get a prenup. But you know, there is no money that can replace the time that she wasted with that man. There's not one. And see, Ashley, I want to encourage you to think greater than that, okay? Because listen, I'm all about being a lady's lady. And I want you to read between the words that I'm saying. The worst thing I see are women who stay in these long-term common law relationships, non-marriage with these men. And then the man passes away. And then she finds out he was like married to somebody before. And everything that she worked hard to support him in, because I also had another client who was married to this man. She helped him to build a business, and the business was like a multi-million-dollar business. He dies. She doesn't know, because they're common law. She's like, I didn't believe that, you know, we needed to like put paper on our relationship. And then she finds out that he never divorced his ex-wife, and the ex-wife came along and took the house that she was living in with this man that was on like 14 acres or something like that. And all of his money goes to the ex-wife. His insurance policies goes to the ex-wife. And she had kids with this man. And she had nothing at all to show for the years that she had with the man. It's expensive not knowing what you're doing when it comes to dating. And you might think that you have it all figured out. And I tell women that even not only the financial costs, because that's major, the mental and the emotional costs, you can't even put a dollar on. Okay. And I experienced this firsthand. I had an aunt and she struggled with having love blocks basically her whole life. And even when I offered to help her and I offered to work with her, my aunt, she just didn't think that she needed it. She was old school. And my aunt was in this long-term Build-A-Bear relationship that was going nowhere, where he was living in his house, draining her, and she was living in her house, and she just didn't really have any motivation to live. Anyway, she basically left this earth never really experiencing true love, and she died by herself, trying to get into bed. And they found her 6 days. So she had been there for 6 days. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, like, that brings nightmares to think of me leaving this planet, never experiencing love, and dying by myself. And there has been studies to show what are the mental implications when a woman starts to stay by herself, how it affects her mentally. Because the saying that man, woman was never meant to be alone is true when we talk about from a biological standpoint. So then what is the solution? Now for me, because I saw so many women that was struggling with trying to figure it out, that was struggling taking chances on finding healthy love, that was losing so much in her attempt to be able to find love, playing Russian roulette with it, I decided that I wanted it to be way more predictable. So that's when I created the Love Success Formula after helping and working with thousands of women. And I realized there are steps that you got to take. It's kind of like there's steps when you went first to kindergarten or elementary school, then you went to middle school, then you went to high school, then you went to college and graduate, etc., etc. Like, ladies, listen to me. There are steps to you getting to that high value love. Like, how many of you want to be able to attract your romantic best friend, a man who will love your soul, and he's going to add value to you? He's not going to be somebody who's draining you. He's going to have character. He's going to be the kind of man that has values. He's going to be the kind of man that worships you like the queen that you are. Like, ooh, thank you. Yes. Like, how many of you want that kind of man? If you want like the regular kind of guy that's like kind of lukewarm for you, and you know, maybe he might show up or maybe not, then just jump off this live, because I won't be able to help you. Okay, I'm sure there's somebody that will tell you to go for the money and do all that other stuff for you to settle with, or they can give you some advice where he can become like a cat or a dog or something like that, where he's like super hooked on you, but you're not even really excited about him. Like, you can go there. However, here I can tell you how to make it predictable for you getting to the happily ever after with a high value masculine marriage minded man. Don't start, y'all. Don't make me start laughing. Y'all know how I am. I'm a Sagittarius. And then you combine the fact that I'm West Indian, and you have a dangerous combination. All right. Love me and just love me. So I created the Love Success Formula so that it can be predictable for a woman. So here is what you want to look for. This is what, don't start, ma'am. Don't start. Okay. So here are the 7 stages. How many of you guys want to know what are the 7 predictable stages so that you know where you're at to getting to high value love? How many of you guys want to hear that? Say aye. I mean, it's coming close, okay? I'm feeling it tingle in my bones that the glasses are close to coming out. Especially when I start to hear certain things. I want to know the stages. Okay, I'm going to break it down for you. All right, so first of all, here are the different levels, okay? There's different levels and there's different stages as you're moving up the level. So there's 7 different stages to you getting to happily married. And our agency guarantees love, right? Because these stages are so effective and our process is so powerful and is so effective, we guarantee that every student who comes through our program does what we tell them to do is going to attract love. And this is the process that we take them through. The first step is that you have to identify and clear what is blocking you from the love. That's simple, okay? I think we've established that. If you don't want to do that process, if you want to skip that part, If you don't think you need that part, then again, I'm not for you, because everybody's going to go through that, because I want to make sure you are aligned with high level love and that you don't have anything, even subconsciously or residually, that can sabotage you later on. I'm setting you up for a lifelong success where a man actually loves pouring into you and loves adoring you. And then the second step is you got to increase and anchor. Okay, activate and anchor your feminine energy. Because when you activate and anchor your feminine energy, then this is what you do. You move from being like this, where you're repelling masculine energy because you're highly in your masculine energy, and then you turn into this divine, amazing, delicious feminine energy diva who men are automatically gravitating towards. And what this does is it increases your options. So now you are attracting high quality men, and you can pick whatever high quality man that's successful, that matches you, that can be your best friend for you. And then the next step is going to be, how do we make sure that you are rewiring your subconscious mind so it's aligned with divine love, not the story based in your lack or limitation or pain or trauma. That how do we make sure that subconsciously you won't sabotage yourself? So then now you're aligned with who you really are, and now you're clear on what it is that you want. Because ladies, if you know nothing else, because everybody wants to talk about manifesting, but one of the things that is not emphasized and clarified is that creation needs clarity. You must be clear in order for you to create and attract what it is that you want. If you don't know and haven't become the version of you, the greatest version of you that matches who you want to attract, then you won't be able to be clear on what that healthy love looks like for you. I have seen women who attracted a great man who adores her, and she can't even love him. She's not even attracted to this man because he's too nice. Maybe some of you guys have friends who are like that and you can relate. Anyway, he's too nice. However, she turns around and attracts the Build-A-Bear, who's a narcissist, who's abusive, who's a liar, who's a cheater, and that's what excites her. That's what it is that she wants. That's the subconscious mind. So we make sure that that's rewired. And then now we're teaching her, how do you be able to align with the laws of the universe? How do we quantum leap you so that you're moving to the divine love that you want? And now that you're tapping in and you're aligning with the energetic laws of the universe, then now you are able to date using the science of attraction, using the art of dating, so that you're making dating work for you. So you're not out there looking for a soulmate. You're just getting more clear on the love that you want. And you naturally are attracting the top quality man based on the stage that you're at. And then you attract your soulmate and you get married. Now, as you're moving up this pyramid, right? As you're moving up these stages, there are steps, there are stages. And you can tell exactly where a woman's at. Everybody in my company, in my team, can look at you, talk to you for like 2 minutes and know exactly what stage you're on. Matter of fact, because I've been doing this for so long and I've worked with so many women, you can put down 3 sentences on what your struggle is. And if you send me a message in the DM, I can now break it down to, you're most likely a ruby, you're most likely a diamond, you're most likely an onyx or what have you. I can break down like what exactly are your love blocks just by the words that you're saying, right? Because it's super predictable. So we can tell like what stage you're in. When you're in stage 1, that means that you're highly blocked. That means you're disconnected from your feminine energy. That means you're not having dating success, or you're not dating at all, and you're attracting low quality men. And if you date or get married in stage 1, then the likelihood of divorce or the relationship not working is 90. Somebody put 90 in the chat just so we can make it lodge into our subconscious mind. The likelihood of divorce and of the relationship not ending is 90%. So you have basically gotten married before, you've gotten a divorce, before the relationship has even started. Because it's basically guaranteed to not work, okay, when you're in stage 1. And then when you're in stage 2, usually people who've been in therapy are in stage 2. Okay. And when you're in stage 2, you have an awareness of what's wrong, but you're still highly blocked. You're still dealing with the blocks that are keeping you from the love that you want. Your feminine energy is still disconnected. And then you're attracting men who don't really see your value. You're attracting men who don't really align with you. You're getting inconsistent results when it comes to dating. Oftentimes you're frustrated with dating, but at least you know what's wrong. When you get to stage 3, things change, right? Because in stage 2, it decreases from 90% likelihood that the relationship is not going to work, and then it drops down to 80%. In stage 3, it drops down to 70%. And most of the population, 70% of the population, is in stage 1 through 3. In stage 3, though, you start to feel better, okay? You start to feel more aligned. You start to feel some type of connection to your feminine energy. You start to feel like, sometimes you start to feel like, I don't really need a man. You know, like you start to feel like I'm happy with myself. And it's not the I'm afraid of love, so I'd rather avoid it than for me to do what's necessary in order for me to receive healthy love. It is more along the lines of, I feel good. Like the love blocks are lower. I'm feeling. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. You're feeling, more free, basically, emotionally. However, a lot of women get stuck in stage 3. Okay. Stage 4 is when the magic happens. Stage 4 is when we advise for our clients to start dating. Because when you're in stage 4, now you are connected to your feminine energy enough to be able to attract that divine masculine energy man. Now you're in the stage where your love blocks have lowered to where you're just happy for no reason. You're not feeling like this thirst or hunger for love, but you're open and receptive to healthy love, and you're actually aligned to attract it. So now you start to attract more high value love. You're attracting men who have goals. You're attracting men who want to get married. You're attracting men who want to pour into you. So you're attracting that great guy who's going to adore you when you're in stage 4, and you're confident when you're dating. When you're in stage 5, that's a whole different ballgame. Now you're at a higher level where you're connected to your feminine energy, and now you're manifesting. You're starting to notice that money's just flowing to you easily. You're noticing new friendships are flowing to you easily. People just want to do things for you. People just want to give things to you. Like opportunities are opening up for you. You're just happy. And now you're definitely in a committed relationship in stage 5, because it's just basically impossible for you not to be in a relationship in stage 5. And then in stage 6, your relationship is much stronger. Stage 7, you're in like the agape love, and the likelihood of getting a divorce when you're in stage 7 is not likely at all. The likelihood of getting a divorce when you're in stage 6 is less than 10%. And when you're in stage 5, it's less than 20%. So we actually have a quiz called the Love Success Assessment, where a woman can be able to tell, like, what is her archetype? What is her feminine energy level? It's using like AI, science, and all kinds of other big words that we paid a ton of money for all this data scientists to be able to create this quiz in order to help a woman to know where she's at, so that she's not dating blind, so that she's not just going out there when she's already aligned for a toxic dysfunctional relationship. She can know, where am I and what do I need to do so that I can be aligned with high value, high level love that's not going to bring me pain, drama, stress, and irritation. So that's why we created and put a lot of money in creating this quiz. And when a woman gets that information, now she's empowered to do something about it. So go ahead, baby. Good night. Have a good night. So here's the next steps that I want to offer you. Okay. The first thing I want you to do is go to Love Success Assessment, so that you can be able to take this quiz. For now, it's free. Eventually, I'm going to charge, because it was a lot of money for me. But right now, there's no cost for you to be able to take the quiz. You'll be able to know what it is that you want. For those of you who are like, Shay, I just want you to show me the way. I want to sit down with you. I want you to tell me what it is that I need to do. I want you to help me figure out a solution, because I'm ready to meet my soulmate, and I just need to be able to get the guidance and get the tools. And you want to sit down with me, then just go to bookshay.com. Okay. Oh, not for everybody. Only for those of you, like, you've been on the call, like, hey, tell me what I need to do so I can work with you. Then go to bookshay.com. For the quiz, you can go to the quiz and go to lovesuccess.com. Okay, go to lovesuccess.com in order to take the quiz, and there's no cost for the quiz. No success. And for those of you who are new to me and don't know, since I was 5, I discovered that I had a gift of seeing. I discovered that I can hear people's thoughts and I can see people's past, present, or future. Some of you guys have been on the live with me where you've seen me give readings. Matter of fact, I've given several of you readings only for you to DM me like, oh my gosh, Shay, how do you know you was completely right about that guy that I asked about? Some of you have come to me and, ma'am, you acted like you didn't know that your man was cheating. And then I told you your man was cheating. And then you tried to ignore it only for you to find out that what I told you was correct. Your man was cheating. Matter of fact, there was one time I saw one lady. I was like, you drive a red car. Your man was driving in your car the other day. He had another woman in the car. He's cheating. And you need to go to the doctor because he gave you something. And the something is something that you need to treat now, or it can have long-term complications. And she ended up booking a call with me, and she ended up enrolling in Boston University, and she started crying, and she was like, because I said to her, like, what made you enroll in BDU? And she said, Shay, do you remember when you did the reading that there was a woman who was driving a red car and a man was driving the car and he had another woman in the car? She said, when I heard you say red car, I was like, I drive a red car. She can't be talking about me. And then she was like, when you started talking about and describing the man, she was like, I knew that was my man. And she said, Shay, I would have never went to the doctor. I would have never. I'm just not the go to the doctor woman. And she said, I knew you were talking to me. I went to the doctor and he gave me something. It's called, you can go to Love Success. Okay? Love Success quiz, or just Love Success, and it will take you to the assessment. But anyway, she was like, he gave me something that could have caused me to be infertile if I hadn't treated it. And the doctor even said it, like, thank God you came in when you did so that we could catch it, because I would have never treated it. So anyway, I discovered that I had this gift. I use this gift to be able to help my clients, and it's a gift where God moves through me, okay? Speaks through me, because whenever you guys come on the call, like for those of you who have booked love mapping calls in the past, you know this, you witnessed this, we pray in because we believe that this is way bigger than us, and we're going to allow divine intelligence, God, spirit, whatever you want to call her, to move through us, so that she's speaking through us and working through us in order for us to be able to help you. And when I'm doing a reading and seeing for a client, then I'm able to see her soulmate. I'm able to see what timeline he's on. I'm able to guide her and what are the steps necessary in order for her to be able to meet her soulmate. So when you book a call, when you go to book Shay, and I only have like 5 spaces available, but when you go to bookshay.com and you book a call with me, if you want, then you will get a reading from me, a spiritual reading, and then you're going to get me to come through exactly what are your love blocks, what is keeping you from the love that you want. That's because all of you guys are trying to take the quiz right now instead of listening to me. She's like, the quiz is freezing. Y'all could have waited for the quiz. You could have let me finish, okay? It's freezing. Probably because there's like 75 of y'all taking the quiz at the same darn time. That's why. Okay? You're welcome, ma'am. You're welcome. So anyway, when you book the love mapping call with me, if that's what your heart is calling you to do, I will do a reading for you. We will help identify what are the love blocks and then what are the steps necessary so that we can be able to help you to align with your romantic best friend. Around this time of the year, usually a lot of women are booking because Christmas is coming up. And y'all, I need at least 3 months, okay? It takes 3 months to get your subconscious mind to be able to do this and to rewire. But through the process, we're using the Love Success formula, and the Her Pocket Coach app drops on September the 16th. Yay! Finally, after being scammed, y'all, listen to me. Now, how many of you guys was on the live when I first announced Her Pocket Coach, which was the very first AI powered love coach from the convenience and privacy of your very own pocket? And it was going to be a process where it's customized to you. It learns you so that it's able to coach according to what your needs are and provide you the tools and the guidance according to what your needs are, learning your archetype in order to guide you to high level love. And there's an avatar, a talking avatar in there where I'm coaching you and talking to you. And like, if you ever on a date and a man's like, hey, can you send me a pic? And then you're like, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. And you go to like Pocket Coach Shay and you're like, hey, Pocket Coach Shay, should I send him a pic? He just asked for a pic. And I'm like, ma'am, no, ma'am, no. What do you do? No, that's a no, ma'am. You do not send this man a picture. He's looking at you right now. Like, what he's trying to do is collect trophies. So anyway, that's what she would do, right? So I started this venture like last August because I wanted to be able to help millions of women around the world to be able to have like all of my intelligence and all of my coaching gifts, which y'all is from God, not me. Like, it's God that moves through me that allows me to have so many impact on women. And we've worked with and helped over 180,000 women. You can go on my website. You can see all the marriages and all the weddings and all the testimonials. We have 100% 5-star review because the process works, right? And so anyway, I wanted to be able to deliver all this to women in their own budget and from the convenience of their own pocket, right? So I downloaded this idea when I met with a client and I started this journey last August. I hired the first company. They scammed me out of like $50,000. Then I hired the second company. They scammed me out of $250,000. Then I hired the third company. Y'all, tech for women is rough, okay? It's rough. They know you're green. If you don't have like a background in coding and development and all this other stuff, like, you are in for it. So anyway, I hired a third company. However, I was smart, kinda, when I was hiring the third company because I said, you know what? We're a tech company now. So I need to hire my own like in-house tech team that can watch the people that and they can audit the people that we're working with to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, because we would pay people to like code the app and they would be doing nothing. They would basically be building a shell. It's like buying a car that all it is the body. There's no engine, there's nothing inside of the car. That's what happened to me, y'all, like 3 times. And so like $1 million later, we still had no app, or the app wasn't working. A lot of you guys was dealing with challenges. It was like a nightmare. Like, your girl was crying every daggone day. It was rough. And the third company that we hired, thank God, because we hired our own in-house tech company, they were like, Shay, they're scamming you. This is what they're doing with their code. They're not pushing the code to the repositories. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. And so we were able to catch them early on. And then finally, we have the most amazing team to do the app. And it's bananas, like how amazing the app is now, the version that we have now, and how advanced it is. And that version is launching on September 16th. That matches the vision that I have. And it's just going to keep evolving and keep getting better. So eventually I'll have that ready for you to be able to join the app. And for those of you who have been waiting and rooting for me, I so appreciate it. But anyway, I decided that I was going to create this app because there is so much of my intelligence and or my gifts, and I can't work with everybody. There's only but so much people that I can work with. And so many people are constantly emailing or asking me, and we have a waiting list of people that are trying to work with me. And today I said, I feel, because I normally go live on Mondays. I normally don't go live on Tuesdays anymore. And I said, I feel like somebody is calling me and I need to go live. Because whenever I go live like this, then it's somebody that usually books the call who needs my help, and then her whole entire life changes. So whoever you are who called me, I'm here right now, and I had my team open spaces right before the call. So if that's you, like, hurry up before the spots get taken and go ahead and book your call. Go to bookshay.com. That's SHAY, bookshay.com, and I will help you to get to that love that you really want. Ladies, you deserve the best, okay? And Thank you, my love. I so appreciate it. And if you hear nothing else from me today, know this. Baby girl, no matter what you have been through, no matter what that man has done to you, you have always been the prize. Fix your crown and remember that. And when you finally clear the love blocks and align with the love that's been waiting for you, then the right man will find you and claim you and treat you like the prize you always have been. I love you, I see you, and I look forward to joining you on the inside. Bye, divas. Good night. Lisa, I've already told you about your soulmate, baby. Okay? I've already told you about your soulmate. You're going to meet him soon. Just keep doing the work. You're doing exactly what you need to do. Just keep doing the work. Good night, baby.